This is part 3 of my lecture series in stereochemistry. In this class, we will be covering diastereomers and mesocompounds. As you know, there are two broad classes of stereoisomers. They are enantiomers and diastereomers. Enantiomers are mirror images, non-superimposable mirror images, whereas diastereomers are not mirror images. Okay, so broad classes stereoisomers. Which are they? One is enantiomers and the other one is diastereomers. Okay, so enantiomers are mirror images, non-superimposable mirror images, whereas diastereomers are not mirror images. Now, in a molecule with multiple stereo centers, that is multiple stereogenic centers, that is more than one stereogenic center, you see what will be the maximum possible number of stereoisomers. Let us start like this. Okay, that is the maximum possible number of stereoisomers in a molecule containing multiple stereogenic centers. The number is 2 raised to n. Okay, where n is equal to, it is the number of stereogenic center. Correct. So 2 raised to n, where n is the number of stereogenic centers. So 2 raised to n is the total maximum possible number of stereoisomers in a molecule containing n number of stereogenic centers. Correct. So if there is only one stereogenic center, how many isomers will be possible? That is 2 raised to 1, that is 2. So 2 is the number. Okay. So if there is only one, when n is equal to 1, that is only one stereogenic center here. Therefore, there will be one stereogenic center. There will be only two stereoisomers possible. So these two, they are enantiomers. Enantiomer pair. Enantiomers. Okay. Now, if there are two, n is equal to 2 means 2 raised to 2, that is 4. So the maximum possible number of isomers, stereoisomers, it will be 4 in a molecule containing two stereogenic centers. Correct. Maximum possible stereoisomers is 4. So this maximum number, it can be less also. This is the maximum number, and sometimes fewer numbers of stereoisomers are also possible. So we will discuss these points here. Now, consider a molecule. I will just clear this page. Say 2,3-dibromopentane. Consider this molecule 2,3. A molecule 2,3-dibromopentane. How will you draw this series? Is CH3, C, here there are two stereogenic centers here. In the case of 2,3-dibromopentane, we have two stereogenic centers. Therefore, the maximum possible number of stereoisomers, it is 4 because n is equal to 2 here. Correct. Now let us draw. How will you draw this maximum number of stereoisomers? No, draw one stereoisomer. then you draw his mirror image. You see how we can find all the stereoisomers for a compound with two stereogenic centers here. Okay, so in the case of this molecule 2,3-dibromopentane, draw one stereoisomer. By arbitrarily we can arrange the substituent groups here around the stereogenic center. That is only arbitrary. So then you draw the mirror image. That is a procedure here. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule that certain groups should come in a particular position or anything of that kind here. Okay, so we will be just drawing here. So we will be putting the substituents groups of this compound. Then this bromine, two bromine atoms, we can show it on a wedge that is above the plane of the page. Correct. Then two hydrogens. Okay, this is your isomer A. This is one stereoisomer. This we can name it A. Correct. Now the mirror image of this compound, that will be isomer 2. Then we can see whether they are superimposable or non-superimposable, whether they are enantiomer or not. We can just see here. Okay, all these points we can examine. So the mirror image, how it will look like. So here the methyl group. Okay, then these two bromine on the wedge. Okay, now hydrogen. Behind the plane of the page. So this is isomer B. Two isomers now of the compound 2,3-dibromopentane. Okay, and now we will see whether this A and B, what is the relationship between these two A and B here. Okay, whether they are enantiomers, superimposable or non-superimposable or not. Okay, that will depend upon whether it is enantiomers or not. Okay, now whether A and B are superimposable, how will you see that? By just flip the molecule and rotate one molecule 180 degrees rotation if you are doing it here, to see whether all the atoms and bonds are aligning here. Okay, so the B is to be directly placed on top of A, rotated by 180 degrees. If you rotate it by 180 degrees, then we can see what is the type of compound we are getting. So this is the one. So this 180 degree rotation if you are doing here, if all the atoms and bonds they align here. Okay, if you know all the atoms and bonds, if they align, then we can say they are superimposable. If they do not align, they are not superimposable. So they will be enantiomer pair. Correct. So this will be a compound will be like this after rotation. This hydrogen, which is behind the plane of the page, it will come over here, and the bromine will go back. Correct. Here we can see that the hydrogen and bromine, H and Br, this is B and this is A isomer. Here hydrogen and bromine do not align. Therefore, A and B are found to be different compounds. Since the atoms of A and B, they do not align. Therefore, A and B are non-superimposable mirror images. They are enantiomers here. Therefore, we have got the total 4 number of stereoisomers. Now we have got 2 here. Okay, this is an enantiomer pair. Okay, they are enantiomers here. A and B are found to be different compounds. Because the atoms and bonds, they do not align here. They are found to be different compounds, non-superimposable mirror images. Therefore, they are enantiomers. Correct? Now, to draw a third possible isomer, how will you do that? Now, 2 we have got it. Now, I will just change this page. For getting the third possible isomer, we will have to switch the positions of 2 groups. Any 2 groups, you can just switch the positions. Either you can switch the position of hydrogen and bromine on carbon 1 or carbon 2. There is no hard and fast rule here. Okay, to draw a third possible isomer, you have to switch the positions of hydrogen and bromine or any 2 groups on any one of the stereogenic centers. Either it can be on C1 and C2. Okay, then let us see what is the type of compound we are getting here. When we are switching it here, I will draw here. So this is our C1, this is C2, correct? Compound A, this is compound A, isomer A. Okay, now, and we have drawn the mirror image here. The mirror image is looking like this. On a wedge. Okay, this is our mirror image B. A and B here. Okay, so this is our molecule A and B. We have seen, they are non-superimposable mirror image. They are enantiomers actually, A and B. Now, if you are switching the positions of any 2 groups, say hydrogen and bromine here, if you are switching here in the structure A, if you are doing it here, switch the positions, changing the positions here. Okay, hydrogen and bromine on C1. So what will be the nature of the compound here? So this will be C1, C2. Then we have CH2, CH3. Then this side it is okay, same, no change. C2 is okay. Then C1 only we are just changing here. Two groups, we are just changing the positions here. Okay, CH3. Then bromine will go behind the plane of the page. Then hydrogen, it will come over here on a wedge. Okay, so this is a compound C. That is switching the positions of hydrogen and bromine on carbon 1. We are getting an isomer C here. Okay, this is C. Now the mirror image. Take the mirror image. These are all mirror images here. How it will look like? So the mirror image will be bromine. Then this side it will be CH2, CH3. Bromine. Correct? So this is another isomer D. Okay, now we have got all the four here. Okay, A, B, C, D. Because there are two stereogenic centers here in this compound, 2, 3 dibromopentane. We have two stereogenic centers. Therefore, the maximum possible number we have seen, that is 2 raised to 2, that is 4. 4 stereogenic center, 4 stereo isomers only. Beyond that, we cannot get it. Because even if we draw it, it will be identical with a earlier compound, some other compound here. Okay, therefore now we have got 4. Now what? Let us examine the relationship between A and B. So A and B, they are non-superimposable mirror images. Okay, therefore they are enantiomers. Same is the case with C and D. Okay, C and D also, they are enantiomers. A and B and C and D, they are non-superimposable mirror images. So A and B, C and D, they are enantiomers. A and B, C and D, they are enantiomers. Correct. A and B and C and D are enantiomers. Now what is the type relationship between, say, A and C, that is if you see the vertical direction, and B and D, and in the same way, that is A, this compound A and C, in the same way B and D. What is the type of relationship here? That is what we are just interested to know. Okay, B and D. In the same way, see C and B, that is diagonal thing. What is the relationship? In the same way, A and D. Correct. So if you see this thing, that is A and C, A and B and C and D, they are enantiomers. We have seen that. Now C and D, they are non-superimposable mirror images. They are also enantiomers. A and B are also enantiomers. Similarly, C and D are also enantiomers. Now the relationship between A and C, they represent the second broad class of stereoisomers called diastereomers. Okay, so enantiomers are, the stereoisomers, that the mirror images with the mirror images, whereas diastereomers are stereoisomers and that are not mirror images. Correct? So here if you see A and C, A and B and C and D are they are pairs of enantiomers. Here A and C, then B and D, that is the vertical directions, A and C and B and D. Okay, then we have diagonal C and B, that is B and C, then B and A and D, correct? So this is the kind of a thing, you see, we have A and C, B and D, B and C, and A and D. They are diastereomers. These are the diastereomers. Correct. So this is what is meant by diastereomer. What is the kind of definition we can give? Now, enantiomers, they have opposite configurations at all stereogenic centers. While you can just see it, while these diastereomers have the same configuration at one or more stereogenic centers, but opposite configuration at the other. That is one stereogenic center, the same configuration, and a different configuration at the other stereogenic center. That is the opposite configuration. Now, if you have a compound with two stereogenic centers, it has got RR configuration. Say, for example, the configuration is RR. Okay. If a compound with two stereogenic centers has RR configuration, its enantiomer will have SS. Okay. Now, a diastereomer of the same compound, it has got either RS configuration or SR configuration. Okay. Now, stereogenic center has the same configuration, and one stereogenic center has the same configuration, and other stereogenic center, it has got the opposite configuration. That is, but enantiomers, they have opposite configurations at all stereogenic centers. Diastereomers, they have opposite configurations at stereogenic centers here. Okay. Now, diastereomers have the same connectivity of atoms. Okay. You know, they are not mirror images, and they are not identical compounds. Diastereomers are not mirror images. They are not identical compounds, but they have the same connectivity of atoms here. Okay. Now, a pair of diastereomers, they have the pair has the same configuration around at least one stereo center. Okay. And the opposite configuration, that is around the other stereo center. In other words, how will you say that diastereomers have the opposite configurations around at least one stereo center and the same configuration at the other stereo center? Okay, got the point? That is, a pair of diastereomers, if you can consider them, okay, they have at least one, the same configuration around at least one stereo center, and the opposite configuration around the other stereo center. Okay, in other words, how will you put it? Diastereomers have the opposite configuration around at least one stereo center and the same configuration at the other stereo center. Say, for example, if you say, I will clear this area. So, if you have the configuration, say 1R, stereogenic center 1, 1R, 2S, or 1R, 2R. Okay, they are diastereomers. The same configuration at one stereogenic center and different configuration or opposite configurations at the other stereogenic center. That is 1R, 2S and 1R, 2R. They are diastereomers here. Okay, in the same way, if you say 1S, if you write 1S, 2R and 1S, 2S. Okay, they are all diastereomers here. Correct. They have the opposite configurations around at least one stereogenic center and the same configuration at the other stereogenic center. So these are the, the simple definition we can give for diastereomers. Correct. Now, I will just explain to you with another example. This is a 2,3-dibromopentane we have shown here. So, I will clear this page. Now we can say 4 different groups are bonded to C1 and C2. We will find out another compound. Then let us examine. We will just illustrate it with, another 2 stereogenic centers. A compound having 4 different groups bonded to C1 and C2 to a compound we can see here. You see, now we have C1, C2. Okay, now we can say hydrogen. Chlorine, bromine, OH group, another hydrogen here. Okay, this is configuration is 1R2S. This is isomer A having a configuration of 1R2S. Okay, correct. Okay, now draw the mirror image. How will you draw the mirror image? The mirror image will be C1, C2. Chlorine will come here, bromine will go here. Okay, then CH3, hydrogen. Okay, now they are enantiomers. So this here the configuration, this is isomer B. The configuration here is 1s, 2r. Okay, this is the configuration here. So these are enantiomers here. Okay, they are enantiomers, non-superimposable mirror images. Correct? Now we'll be switching the positions here. When we switch the positions of two groups, let us see what we are getting here. Okay. Now, chlorine, here in the carbon C1, we have switched the positions of chlorine and bromine in A. When we are this thing, we are getting another isomer C here. Okay, the C will be having a configuration of 1s, 2s. Okay, 1s, 2s configuration we are getting here. So again, you try to find the mirror image that they are the enantiomers here. What will be the enantiomer? C1, C2. Okay, we are getting another compound here, D. This is 1R, 2R. This is the configuration here. Okay, so now we have got 4 isomers here. That's how the maximum number of isomers with 2 stereogenic center is 2 raised to 2, that is 4. So we have drawn 4 isomers here. So A and B, they are enantiomers. Correct? This A, this is B, then this is C and D. Okay, now we can see that A and B, they are enantiomers. So in the same way, C and D, they are also enantiomers. Okay, non-superimposable mirror images here. Now, the relationship between A and C and B and D, just like we have seen in the case of 2,3-dibromopentane, in the same way, we can see what is the relationship between this compound, A and C. That is the vertical and B and D. Okay, now if you see the A and D in the same way, C and B, that is diagonal. Now A and C, B and D, and A and D and B and C. Okay, the diagonal relationship. What will be the thing? They are all diastereomers. Okay, so this is a diastereomer of this compound here. And in the same way, this is a diastereomer of this one. Correct. So like this, they are all diastereomers. So A and B, enantiomer. A and B, C and D, they are enantiomers. Okay, now superimposable mirror images. Correct. So diagonal and vertical pairs are diastereomers having the same configuration at one stereo center and the opposite configuration at the other stereo center. That is, we have seen A and C, then B and D. In the same way, say B and C and A and D. Correct? They are all diastereomers. Okay, so diastereomers, they have that here is only two stereogenic centers here. That is, they have the same configuration at one stereogenic center and the opposite configuration at the other stereogenic center here. Correct. So these are the definitions for diastereomers. Okay, now we will come to what is mesocompounds. So mesocompounds, it will be interesting. So mesocompounds, we will just illustrate it with the help of a compound 2,3-dibromobutane. 2,3. So once you know what is diastereomer, this will be very simple for you. 2,3-dibromobutane. This will be CH3, CHBr, then again CHBr, butane, CH3. Okay, this is 2,3. This compound has two stereogenic centers. As such, it should have a maximum of 4 stereoisomers. So it has got 2 stereogenic centers. Therefore, maximum possibility is 4 stereoisomers as per the formula. But it has got only 3. Correct? We were just discussing this is the maximum number of stereoisomers possible, that is 2 raised to n. But it can be less also. So in this case, 2,3-dibromobutane, even though as per this formula, maximum possible number of stereoisomers it is 4, it has got only 3. So let us examine how it has got only 3. Okay, then we will know the concept of mesocompounds. So I will just draw here, the same way, whatever we have done in the case of diastereomers, in the same way we can draw the structures here. So C1, C2, okay, then CH3, CH3, then we have bromine, 2 bromines and hydrogen. Okay, now one hydrogen here, then one bromine. Okay, then here we can put one bromine on a wedge, then one hydrogen on a wedge. Okay, this is isomer A. Okay, this is isomer A. Now, what will be the nature of the mirror image? So, mirror image will be bromine on dash okay, this is isomer B. Okay, now switching the position on isomer A, switch the position of two either any group, say hydrogen and bromine or whatever it is on C1 or C2, we can do that. Okay, A and B, they are two isomers here. Okay, compound A we have drawn, and we have drawn the mirror image. Okay, A and B are non-superimposable mirror images, therefore they are enantiomers. Correct. These A and B are non-superimposable mirror images, therefore they are enantiomers. Now here we will be switching the H and Br, changing the position, switch the positions of hydrogen and bromine on C1. Correct. So let us draw the molecule, the shape of the molecule. Now C1, C2. Now we are switching the positions here. Correct. On C1. So bromine will go behind the page and hydrogen will come over here on the wedge. Okay. So the molecule, it will be like this. This is isomer C. Keep naming this. Okay. This is isomer C here. C1 and C2. Now the mirror image of C. What will be the nature of the mirror image of C here now? Okay, these are all mirror images. This is a mirror image. We can put a mirror here in between. Correct. So here also we can put a mirror. Like this, if you are putting a mirror here. So this compounds D. We will be getting another one is D. We have got D, another compound D here. Correct. So now you have to find out whether the other two stereoisomers, we have switched the positions, and we have got this C and D here, both these isomers. Now we have got 4 isomers here. Okay. So now we can see that A and B, they are enantiomers that we have seen here. Okay, A and B are enantiomers. Then C, what is C? Now altogether it's a different compound here. It's a new stereoisomer. C is a altogether new compound, and it is a new stereoisomer. And C is equal to D. C and D are the same compounds here. Okay, so identical compound. C is a C is achiral. That C has got a plane of symmetry. Okay, A and B are enantiomers. I will write here A and B, they are enantiomers. Okay, now C, it is the meso compound. Okay, C, it is achiral. Correct? Even though it has got 2 stereogenic centers, it is a achiral molecule. It has got a plane of symmetry. The plane of symmetry means it divides the molecule into 2 equal halves. Here, if we can see, this is the plane of symmetry. If you see, when there is a plane of symmetry, it will be a chiral molecule. Okay, now here A and B are enantiomers. then C is the meso compound. It is altogether new compound here. Okay, altogether as a different compound here. Then C, it is an achiral molecule. It has got a plane of symmetry. Okay, now D is the mirror image of C. Okay, there is no dispute on that. Okay, D is the mirror image of C. D is now it is superimposable on C. D is superimposable on C. C is therefore achiral. Correct. Even though it has got two stereogenic centers. Okay, C is known as a meso compound. Okay, so how will you define a meso compound? Meso compound, it has got a plane of symmetry. It is an achiral molecule. Okay, C contains a plane of symmetry. So it will, the plane of symmetry means it will divide the molecule into two equal halves. This isomer, it is optically inactive due to internal compensation. Okay, so mesoform, it is also known as inactive form. It is optically inactive. It is inactive form. Correct. Mesoform is also known as inactive form and it cannot be resolved. I will just, in the next class, I will come to what is the solution. Okay. So, that this is the reason these 2,3, a compound dibromobutane, it has got only 3 stereoisomers. Even though theoretically 4 stereoisomers are possible for this compound as per the formula 2 raised to n. Okay. So, here in this case, one is just a mirror image of the other one. Correct. One is just a mirror image of the other one and therefore it has got only 3 stereoisomers. Why this compound is having 3? Because one is a meso compound here. Okay. Why 2,3-dibromobutane has only 3 isomers? Since because it is just a mirror image of the other. C and D, they are mirror images here. Okay. Now we can explain it. Let with another example. It will be very clear to you. Say, for example, tartaric acid. That was the tartaric acid. To explain the meso compound, this is tartaric acid. Okay, tartaric acid has got 2 stereogenic centers here and therefore 4 stereoisomers are possible. Okay, so we will just draw the isomers here. This is one isomer. We can say it is A. Okay, this is a tartaric acid, so one isomer. Now when we are just going to the mirror image, okay. So the mirror image will be OH will come here, hydrogen will go over there. Okay, and here also H, OH. So this is the isomer B here. Okay, they are enantiomers. In the case of tartaric acid, there are 2 stereogenic centers, then 4 stereoisomers. Now A and B we have drawn, they are enantiomer pair. Okay, they are non-superimposable mirror images. Correct. Now another one, how will you draw? The same way we can do that. Switching the positions here. Okay, this one will be C. This isomer is C. Then we can take another compound, that is the mirror image here again. Okay, so this will be D. So this is the mirror image. Okay, so A and B are non-superimposable enantiomer pair, A and B. Then C and D, molecule C and D, it has got a plane of symmetry passing through the center of the molecule here. So we can say that there is a plane of symmetry here. How will you draw that plane of symmetry? It is dividing into two equal halves. Okay, this is the plane of symmetry. We can say A and B, there is no problem. They are enantiomer pair here. A and B, enantiomer pair. Okay, so C and D has got a plane of symmetry. It is passing through the center of the molecule here. Correct. So this molecule is therefore achiral. So it has got, even though it has got two stereogenic centers, it is an achiral molecule. Achiral molecule. It is therefore achiral, though it has got two stereogenic centers. Now C and D are identical and they represent the same molecule. Okay, C and D are identical. They represent the same molecule. Such molecules, they are called mesocompounds. Okay, therefore these are mesocompounds. Correct. C and D, it has got a plane of symmetry passing through the center of the molecule. It is an achiral molecule, though even though it has got two stereogenic centers. So C and D are, they are identical molecules. Okay, they represent the same molecule. Identical, they represent the same molecule. Such molecules are called mesocompounds here. Okay, now this we have got is rotating structure C by 180 degree in the plane of the paper. It will be superimposable on D. Correct. So this is the concept of mesocompounds. So achiral molecules we are getting here. So C and D are identical. Correct. Represent the same molecule. Now you see the mesocompounds, they also exist for compounds with more than two stereogenic centers as long as there is a plane of symmetry. Okay. Now these mesocompounds are optically inactive. So we will be discussing it in another class, optical activity and all. But here I will just briefly I'll tell you optically inactive. Mesocompounds are optically inactive. So even though the mesocompounds with two stereogenic centers, just like a tartaric acid, just now we have seen, it will have the same four groups attached to each of the two stereocenters here. Okay, so same four groups, hydrogen, we have the hydroxyl group, then we have the carboxyl group, then we have the CHOH. COH groups. Okay, 4 groups. Okay, they have, the same 4 groups attached to each of the 2 stereogenic centers. 4 groups these are the 4 groups here. This is one OH group, then we have an H group, H is there, hydrogen, then we have a COH group, then we have a CH, COH, correct. So these are the 4 groups attached to the 2 stereogenic centers here. Now, if each stereo center, it is bonded to the same 4 groups, okay, and one center, it rotates the plane of polarized light in one direction, the other stereogenic center rotates the light, the plane of plane polarized light in the opposite direction to the same extent. Okay, so what will be the net result? That is why these meso compounds are optically inactive compounds. Okay, because they have 2 stereogenic centers here, just like here we have seen tartaric acid. Okay, it will have same 4 groups attached to each of the 2 stereogenic centers. Now, if each stereo center, it is bonded to the same 4 groups, and one center rotates the plane of plane polarized light in one direction, okay, in the right or left direction, the other stereo center, it will rotate the light in the opposite direction to the same extent. Okay, so the net rotation, it becomes 0, so nullifying the optical activity of the compound. Therefore, this is known as internal compensation, because the nature of the molecule is like that. That is why it is becoming optically inactive. Internal compensation, because one half of the molecule rotates the light in one direction and the other half rotates it in the opposite direction to the same extent. Therefore, optical activity is cancelled, nullified. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept of meso compounds. So thank you very much for listening.